Well, all right. I think that's it, huh? Live. That is loud. Wait for some people to get online here.
Notification that we're live.
Hey, all right. Looks like we got 2 people online so far. Congratulations to the early attenders. Put this on quiet here. Okay, there we go. Optimistic thinking. I like that. If attendance and being on time was a prize, we would give you something. So, but instead you just get a thumbs up. So thank you for being here. First, MB Rides and Phenom MTB. All right, let's see here. So thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate everybody who entered as well. Obviously, we love giving bikes away. We love giving stuff away and stoking people out. So those of you who supported us and bought some cool merch from the web store, we greatly appreciate it. Been awesome. And everyone who mailed in some really cool custom artwork and envelopes, that was fun and enjoyable too. So thank you guys. Good luck to everybody. Also, for those of you who may not know, there are 2 more bike giveaways currently going on. We've got a Norco Fluid and a YT Jeffsy. Both of those are not like, it's a different type of entry. The Norco Fluid is a photo submission contest. So if you've got an old clapped out bike, send a picture of that and we're going to upgrade someone. And then the YT is just send us an email, sign up, and you're entered to win that way. So no purchases necessary. 2 more fun giveaways coming. So we're going to be using a random number generator to pick a winner. Shauna, what was the final number of entries?
2657.
Okay, so 2657 was the total number of entries. So not that high. You had a pretty decent chance of winning this bike. So it is still in the box, ready to go. So once we get confirmation that the winner is in fact real, we'll get that thing and it's dropped off at UPS and headed to you. So good luck. Cross your fingers, everybody. Thanks again for entering. Sean, are you going to spin the wheel here, or what are we going to do?
How many times should I hit it?
My tech service guy is going to handle this for me. I just break technology. All right.
How many times should I generate a number?
How many times should we generate this number? Is it the first spin or should we do 3? Let us know. Let's see. First reply gets the pick. 1 spin or 3? 3 spins it is. All right. Caleb and MB. All right, we're doing 3 spins on the number generator.
2509. Let's see if that holds up.
Okay, 2509. We're going to go find the corresponding name to that. Robert Archer. Are you in class today? Robert Archer, congratulations. That Ibis is yours. It is a very sweet and fun looking bike. Hopefully Robert Archer is in here. I know, sorry, Craft Brew Man. But hey, thank you guys very much for playing. While we're here, anybody have any questions, want to chat, talk bikes, anything else, ideas, suggestions from you guys about what you'd like to see, anything else, fire it our way. And what was it? Robert Archer? And congrats again to Robert Archer. Burl Schnarl, what's up, dude? Haven't seen your name around for a while. All All right. Any questions out there? Anybody? You guys want to talk anything? Bikes? Other places to ride?
Guatemala.
Oh yeah, shoot. Anybody want to come to Guatemala and ride bikes with us end of October? Have you seen the trip that we're doing down there with our buddy Norm, who's got a really cool travel company? So if anyone's looking to go ride Guatemala, see some volcanoes erupting, stay at some amazing places, eat some really good food, there's some info on the website. And we would love to meet and ride with some of you guys in person. So go check that out if anyone's interested in riding Guatemala. Is it a better deal to build a bike or buy one? Andrew, that's a good question. It's a really hard question because I think it kind of depends on what level of build or complete bike you want to buy. I mean, the fact that you can get, I mean, last year we did a sub 2,000. This year we did a sub 3,000. I mean, I think you'd be hard pressed to build a complete bike for, that price point. But, Cole, one of our testers, just bought an $800 specialized Stumpy frame from Jensen, right? And I mean, an $800 frame, but again, as soon as you buy a fork, which is going to be $600, and then a set of wheels, like you're almost at $2,000. Like,
that's
so
if you're buying new though too. You can always
that's
used.
I guess if you are buying used stuff, but then you're talking about used stuff, and then of course you could buy a used bike, right? And like right now, brands have so many good sales. Brands are sitting on a ton of inventory of bikes, guys. Like that's a real deal. You guys are, I'm sure, are aware of what's going on in the economy.
I mean, most bike shops now you can haggle.
Yeah, shops want to move bikes. Go in there, ask for deals. Prices are dropping. So I personally would say buying a complete bike is going to get you onto a bike more affordably and faster. Of course, custom building is more fun. So, do you guys deliver bikes that giveaway winners win if they're from Europe? Matei, sorry if I mispronounced your name. We would love to open our giveaways to more people and our fans in Europe and, down under and all that. There are some kind of tricky international gambling laws. Apparently, raffles and giveaways are considered gambling, which is why we can't do giveaways in Quebec. The rest of Canada is good, but Quebec's got a very strict law against gambling. And
I mean, a lot of those places, they require somebody from the government to pick the winner.
Right. Yeah. So in some of those places, like a representative of that country's government has to actually be involved to pick a winner. So unfortunately, we're just not a big enough operation, and we don't have the legal strength, strategy, or funding to recoup from any laws we might break unknowingly. So
we do have Rob's giveaway coming up.
That's true. So if you are in Europe, Robert, our guy in the UK, is doing a giveaway over there. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be a really cool custom painted bike. So stay tuned for that. The Canyon Strive On. That's one we just got. We got the spec Torque On. We just got the new Torque On. Have a couple rides on it, so stay tuned for that review. Always ask what the cash price is. Good call there. Raffle is a scam. Okay, I don't know what that means exactly, but sure. Colt 45, come on up. If you're in Bend visiting, shoot us a message. Let's see. Favorite tool on the wall behind you? My favorite tool? Gosh. What am I going to pick here? I would say the 3-ways get used the most, right?
And the 8 mil.
Yeah, those things get used a whole lot, as does the 8 mil. Pedals coming on and off happen a lot. There's nothing really super fancy about those tools. They kind of just get the job done. We did try to use that rotor straightening tool yesterday when a box showed up. A really cool new bike that's coming out soon. I will let you know.
Next week?
Yeah, no, the week after I think it's coming out. And the rotor unfortunately got really screwed up in shipping. So nothing super amazing. out of these. They just work. The fancier tools are kind of like down below. Abby has some pretty cool tools that we really like, but that snipper right there, we use that a lot, cutting zip ties on test bikes that show up. So, Mate asks, do you guys keep the bikes you test? Usually no. Almost all of the bikes go back to the companies. On occasion, if it's a bike that one of us in the crew really likes, we'll tell the brand, hey, we like this bike. We want to keep using it as like a test bed for, wheels or forks or other components. And they'll usually let us keep it for a bit longer and then possibly buy it from them at the end of the season. So usually bikes have to go back. So we got a lot of boxes of stuff going in and out regularly. Let's see. Can you guys review the Commensol Meta Power SX? We are working on that. We don't have it, but we are talking with Commensol, and hopefully we'll get it here soon. Also, Dan Williams, yes, we're looking forward to more aluminum e-bikes as well. I'm a big fan of alloy bikes, just period, e-bike or not. I kind of have told a lot of the brands that want to send us test bikes to start sending me alloy bikes exclusively, because I'm really having fun on the way that those things ride. Let's see. Charlie Horse. They are banned out of the Salton Sea. So Charlie Horse and Throw Rag, they're kind of the same guys, but they're a bunch of dudes out of the Salton Sea, which is kind of just east of Palm Springs. Go check them out. Definitely have some good jams. Seth Thompson, yes, the winner was announced. What was his name again?
Robert Archer.
Robert Archer. So sorry, your name's not Robert Archer, Seth, but thanks for tuning in anyways. Andrew asks, is it bad to buy the lowest spec of a certain bike?
No.
I wouldn't say that it is bad to buy the lowest spec of a certain bike. However, without knowing how good of a rider you are, how much you weigh, those are kind of areas that I would say, there's a certain point, I think, where you start to get diminishing returns. And then there's also a spot where I would say, save, take one more month of saving and spend that extra $500 or $700 to get you to the next level, because that's going to be cheaper than you'll upgrade it personally down the road. And you'll get a better spec all around. But as a whole, I wouldn't say no, it's bad to buy the cheapest spec, but sometimes, it makes sense to go up one level, especially if you're a heavier rider or an aggressive rider, because big areas that brands, I guess, pick and choose: suspension, brakes, wheels, obviously drivetrain, shifter, derailleur, those are all things. But if you're a heavy or aggressive rider, wheels, suspension, and brakes are going to be the areas that you put more strain on, and you're going to notice that dropped performance. Again, if you're, a casual rider, then you might not need more than that ever. And so don't spend the money if you don't need to. So Mate asks again, is it just me, or do high-powered e-bikes seem to be hard to handle? I mean, they're 50 to 55 pounds, so if you're riding a bike that weighs 30 pounds, that's an extra 25 pounds of weight.
I think some are harder to handle than others.
Yeah.
And not necessarily based on weight either.
Right. I would say, yeah, Sean said some are harder to handle, not always based on weight. And I think the geometry of bikes has a lot to do with that. Something that we talk about a lot in our reviews is reach. Along with reach is bottom bracket height, chainstay length,
wheelbase,
overall wheelbase, as well as head tube angle. So, you can't really just look at one geometry number, but if you've got for example, if you have a 50-pound e-bike that has a 495 millimeter reach, and, long chain stays, and you've got another 50-pound bike that has 475 chain stays, 475 reach and shorter chain stays, that bike is going to ride pounds lighter. It is going to manual easier. It's going to hop easier. You're going to change directions quicker. So, weight is a big aspect, sure, because if you want to bunny hop the bike, that's still 50 pounds you got to get off the ground. But good geo is really important. And I think with e-bikes, you've got the stability because of that weight, so you can get away with a little shorter of a bike, and it offsets the sluggishness of a long bike. Alternative to pink bike classifieds. Jason, we've been working on that. It's something that's in the back of our minds and has been for a number of years. We got really close. A buddy of ours developed a thing called Ride List, and we were toying with the notion of kind of partnering up with them. Sadly, we just don't have the bandwidth. Cam Zink is
like Sendy or something.
Sendlist?
Sendy, I think.
Sendy, yeah. So I think Cam Zink's involved with another app type thing called Sendy. You could check that out. We signed up for it. It didn't seem like there was a ton of mountain bike stuff on there, a lot of ski and snowboard stuff, because there was like some pro skier that they partnered up with. But check out Sendy. Yeah, that could be a decent one. And I guess Facebook Marketplace is always a good one too. So let's see. How much travel would you recommend for the Appalachian Mountains, Pisgah and DuPont? I mean, my riding there has not been extensive, but, I think like anything, it's going to depend on your riding style. And what type of trails you value and what type of ride experience. But I would say anything from 140 to 160 is going to be a good spot to be. If I was riding there, because there's a lot of pedaling and it's some steep, punchy stuff. But I think a 140, 150 bike, or even a 150, 160 would probably be possibly 160, 160. That'd probably be where I would be looking at. So what is your favorite bike park on the East Coast other than Highland? Well, favorite. Yeah. Highland's not my favorite. I will just say that. Sean, where's our sign? Next door?
Yeah.
Killington, hands down. Not even our favorite on the East Coast. I think that might be our favorite in North America that we've been to so far. That place rules. Absolutely. I can't wait to go back there. Highland is fun. Totally love it. Love the vibe. But Killington, dude, that place. Can't wait to go back. Should I not buy a bike because of EP8 and get a bike with Bosch? That is an awesome question, Grillo. I love that you asked that question. No, I would not make that decision. There are a lot of bikes I would rather have with a Shimano motor than a Bosch motor. Yeah, to me, that's like, what was that car that Dodge made? The Viper? That crazy powerful car that handled like shit. You guys remember the Dodge Viper? Had a big badass motor, was super fast, really great, except when it came to handling, and the thing wouldn't stay on the ground, had no traction, it sucked at cornering, but it had a really powerful motor. Okay, that the same is true in bikes. Now, if I could pick a Shimano or a Bosch motor bike, like if you could, pick one frame and say, would you like it with this or this? I would maybe pick Bosch. I don't know that it would be like absolutely 100%, but I probably would go Bosch right now. But at the same time, no offense to, I don't even need to name bike brands, but let's just say there are bikes out there that have Bosch that I would not buy. And there's bikes with Shimano's that I would rather buy and own, because at the end of the day, a drive unit, right? A motor still gets you to the top of the mountain. And I am more concerned with how the bike rides, how the bike feels, how the suspension works, how it handles jumps. Like, is it playful and fun? So to me, that is way more important. I see a lot of people that instantly write off amazing bikes. Like a prime example is the Pivot Shuttle LT. Or the Fazari, right? Also, yeah, a great bike as well and more affordable than the Pivot. And then let's just take a Mondraker, for example, right? Mondraker, No offense to Mondraker owners out there. I'm not saying that they're bad bikes, but for me, not a bike I would buy. The suspension is too stiff, too chattery, rough, fatiguing. They're heavy. The long but it's got a Bosch bike, right? And I've seen people say, I will not buy that Pivot Shuttle LT or that Fazari Timp Peak because it's got a Shimano drive unit. And then they'll go buy that Mondraker. And to me, I'm just like, man, that's crazy. Like, you just bought a car with the 1,000 horsepower motor that can't handle for crap in the canyons, So that's my take, for whatever it's worth. Let's see. Which do you prefer, Fox or Öhlins? I can't say I've ridden a lot of Öhlins, but the stuff I have ridden from them is good. But I would say, like, as a whole, we ride a lot of Fox stuff, and minus the X2 shock issues, which I think are getting figured out this year. I like Fox stuff. It works well. It's, like I said, excluding that one shock last year that had a lot of problems. I like Fox stuff a lot. So there you go. Nice to see you, Women's MTB Network. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you ladies are doing well, I should say. Dan Williams, I checked out Ashland coming from California. What's the next go-to spot in Oregon? Well, if you didn't check it out, we just published a written and video feature of Klamath Falls, which is not too much farther from Ashland. And that place is rad. Spence Mountain and what the heck is that? Moore Park. So
you got Oak Ridge up the road.
Yeah, Oak Ridge is a little farther up the road. Black Rock, Oregon, I guess, just had a major trail reworking. What else? I mean, Hood River, Post Canyon. We're in Bend. If you like to pedal, you get a lot of XC riding in. Mount Bachelor is now open. So, Bend's a pretty neat town. IPAs or water? I'm going to go with water every day. Let's see. Any other questions? That's it. Maybe we're tapering down. There's a couple good questions in there. I was happy you guys asked those. I like it. Let me just scroll through and make sure I don't miss anything that catches my eye. Are we coming to SoCal anytime soon? I don't think we have anything planned, but I don't know.
It's too hot right now.
It is too hot right now, for sure. I don't know. We might come down there this fall or winter. We are heading back to Knoxville, Tennessee again in the end of August. So that'll be a fun time. This Sunday, I'm leaving for a media camp in Colorado, and we'll be back for a couple days and then going to Whistler for Crankwork. So excited to see that. And yeah, David, I would love to come down to Florida. Minus that sweaty part, it is humid down there, but I've been seeing some really cool videos from people riding stuff down there. That looks really fun. I think Jeff Lanowski's been down there a bit. And the stuff that they're doing looks really cool. So if I get down that way, we'll hit you up for sure. Any mountain biking in Crater Lake? It's like a national park monument kind of spot. So no, you can ride the road like around the lake, which is cool, like nice road riding. But if you're wanting views, Klamath Falls is close to Crater Lake, and there are some really awesome views if you're up on those trails with lots of lakes, water, mountains running right up to Crater Lake. So, if Crater Lake is something you want to see, I would say Klamath Falls would be a good spot for you to check out. And it's, yeah, not that far from California, not far from Crater Lake. All right. Anything else? We good? I think that's it. What? What problems can short reach cause? Well, for climbing, they could cause, I guess, a cramped cockpit feel. If you're turning, your knees could be hitting the bars and stem. Also, I guess climbing really steep stuff, you'll have to work more to kind of put your weight up over the bar and stem. And then on descending, really steep stuff or really high speeds, a shorter reach could feel a little bit more skittish. If you just think about your when you're standing and your body weight, if it's over the stem versus behind the stem, on a longer or shorter bike, it could give you a little bit more of a, I don't know, nervous feeling. So longer bikes feel more planted, more stable, more confident. But, if you think about, anything like related to a car, right? The longer a wheelbase is, the less snappy and handly it is, right? So if you're driving through canyons, you don't want, a Suburban's wheel length, you want a Porsche wheel length. So there's pros and cons, and depending on, your riding, your terrain, what you're looking for, you buy a bike and geo around what you like. So
would you rather have a shorter reach or a longer reach?
Well, I mean, I would err on personally, Sean asked if I would like a shorter or longer reach, and I would personally go for a shorter reach because I like a more playful bike. I'm 5'11", and so like 475 to 485 is really good for me. But there's guys that are my height, they're like want 495 or 500 reach, and to me, I'm like, I really don't like that. So been riding a 27.5 YT Jeffsy for 5 years. I noticed a lot of guys on the trails rolling over everything on 29ers. Should I look into making a switch? Peter, we actually just reviewed the Pivot Shadow Cat, which is a 27.5 bike. 27.5 is not dead. So I would say, depending on where you're at and what you want out of your ride experience, 29er, like what we've talked about with reach, everything, there are pros and cons. 27.5 bikes are more playful. They spin up and accelerate quicker. They decelerate. They change directions faster. You can jump and maneuver. You can do switchbacks. So, depending on where you ride, of course, if you are rolling over washboard braking bumps in a straight line at 30 miles an hour, a 29er is going to be smoother and likely faster there. So I wouldn't say you have to get away from your 27.5 by any means. If you have fun on that bike and you like it, keep it. E-bikes with 1,000-watt motors. Well, I don't know if I have an opinion other than that's a whole lot of power, and I'm guessing it's not a class 1 e-bike, which is for the most part what I ride or we ride, because those are the only ones that in many places have legal trail access on mountain bike trails. Tough to say there. That sounds kind of more like a throttle or a push throttle e-bike. So yeah, sounds like those might be a little bit more like I don't know, not quite mountain bikes, and that's kind of why we like the class 1 e-bikes. And again, that because of the legal access issue. Which would you see is more important, lightweight wheels or a better fork for a mid-range bike? Fork for sure, and shock for that after that. So yeah, suspension's very important to me, and I think most other riders would agree. So yeah, suspension is what keeps you comfortable, keeps you safe. It keeps the bike on the ground when you want traction. So, wheels don't do that. Like the gains that you would get in wheels would be a reduction in weight, which, will help you climb faster, will help you accelerate quicker. They might be stiffer for corners, but, for me, being a descending downhill biased rider and technical terrain rider, suspension is going to be way more important because that's where my safety, my, fatigue, endurance, and traction is all more important than a wheel. 6'4" with a 481 reach. I sometimes feel unsafe on it. I ride in the forest next to me, so basically almost flat terrain and a tiny bit of descending. Any advice? Yeah, I mean, how was Robert 6'4", 6'3"?
6'3". He might, 6'3".
So, Robert, who's our tester over in Scotland, he's about 6'3", 6'4", and we put him on a lot of large bikes when he comes over and rides with us. So, yeah, I think Mate, possibly a little bit longer stem. I wouldn't make a huge jump because stem length kind of can affect, handling. But yeah, I think if you went with a little bit longer stem, look at your bar rise and the sweep back of the bars, because that could be something to consider. If your bars sweep back really far, that will also come back farther, and it could bring the bars closer to your knees if that's where you're having issues when you're climbing, steep terrain. But, Mate, one other thing that you should take a look at is your stack height. I don't know if you've had another bike where you didn't feel unsafe or nervous before this one, but look at the stack height of that bike compared to the bike you have now. Also look at your steer tube spacers. And again, if the stem has any rise and your bar rise, because sometimes that nervousness isn't just from the shortness, but from the drop. So like if you're on a road bike and your nose is down, you're going to feel more nervous going because your head is farther down. Whereas if you were upright more, you'd feel more composed. So I would say take a look at that. Blue Goose. All right. An agreement on the fork over wheels. Thank you for a second there. For Fox suspension, Oliver is asking, what's the sweet spot? Rhythm enough, or should you go for performance or factory? Sean says performance. I would agree on performance. Again, weight and, skill and demand are going to play a factor in there. We ride with and know plenty of people where like rhythm is totally great and will be all they ever need. I don't think factory is something that most people need to have. And if it was me buying a bike, I wouldn't fork over the extra money myself. But I'm on a budget. So yeah, I think performance is a great way to be. Long or short travel 29er if you only had one bike. If I only had one bike, I'm going to have to go long travel because I love bike parks and downhill. So
this opens up more versatility.
Yeah, it opens up more versatility, as Sean says. I think, short bikes are fun. And, there'd probably be times where I don't like having a long travel 29er when I'm out, pedaling. But when I went to a bike park or shuttled downhill trails, I would be happier. So, yes, Aaron, I think you're correct there. Rock Shocks probably need to go ultimate. What is your favorite tubeless sealant? WTB. As a matter of fact, I have several bottles of it just right here. I think the WTB stuff is actually really surprising and impressive. We just gave a bottle to a good buddy of ours who helps us ride some stuff here and there, and I think he said he had like 3 bikes in his garage that like he's been like trying to inflate and get to seal for like the last couple months. And I gave him a bottle of this stuff and he's like, dude, they sealed up first time. So check out the WTB stuff. Taiwan made or China made? Well, I can't really say from like if you're talking like a performance or like quality of craftsmanship. I think there's good quality bikes and manufacturing made in both countries. So, if I was like buying, for a stance on a country, I would pick American made. But if we're talking about just if I see across the board a difference in level of quality or craftsmanship, I think both places can make really good bikes and both places can make not so good bikes. So I think it depends on the brand and the level of bike that you're buying from that country. hopefully that answered that question. Matei, what is stack height? So I could describe it to you, but I think the best way for you to visualize it is if you go to a bike brand's website, like any big bike brand, they will show you a diagram, like a profile picture drawing of a bike, and they'll have reach, bottom bracket height, BB drop, chainstay, wheelbase, etc. And in there, they will have stack height, which will basically be the height, where your, that bar stem intersection kind of is. And top of that head tube, all of those things are going to play a role in that. So head tube, then your steer tube spacers are going to factor into that, your stem rise, bar rise. So go take a look at a diagram, and that will really clarify what stack height is. And we'll let you see, like I said, if you can find that bike that you used to like a lot, 636 stack. Okay. Yeah. I would say you might want to try to raise that, especially being 6'4". So yeah. How many steer tube spacers do you have under your stem? And do you have room? Like, are there any on top? Could you flip it? And if not, try to bring your bars up. Cool. Anybody else? Questions, comments, thumbs up, concerns, suggestions, whatever else? Okay. Blue Goose says Taiwan. Who asked that question originally? Fawns. What's up, Fawns? Okay. Blue Goose, Taiwan. Yeah. I think so. Peter, you're welcome. Cool. If you're happy, then don't let other people persuade you otherwise. But like I said, if you're riding longer miles and you're riding with guys on 29er and you think they're dropping you because of wheels, not, fitness or bike weight or whatever, because there are some areas where that bigger wheel will roll. But again, what we have found when we've done testing is anywhere that a 29er will gain, there will be other parts of a track or trail where the 27.5 will gain. So, it's kind of like a slinky, like the 29er could pull away here and then the 27.5 will reel it in there. So, it's all a matter of where you ride more, and bottom line is if buying a new 29er will make you more excited to go ride your bike often and like recharge you and reinvigorate you to get out and ride more, then I guess that's cool too. Like, I give you permission to buy a 29er, but if you don't want to, don't feel pressured to, because that 27.5, it'll keep doing the job. Let's see. At 6K, what's your pick? Aluminum, Levo, Comp, Temp Peak, or something else? I think
Temp Peak's gonna have a better build.
I think I'm gonna go Temp Peak. Yeah, Sean agrees. Yeah, I would go Fazari Temp Peak. Aaron, dude, thank you, man. That's awesome. Hugely appreciate it, Aaron. Thank you. $2. We'll go buy two tacos from Jack in the Box. That's awesome. Yeah, thank you guys. We don't normally get those, so much appreciated. That's awesome, man. You made our day. The next MTB Fest or event, Fawns. Yeah, so like I said, Sunday. I'm going out to Colorado for a media camp. Can I say who it's with? I just can't say what it is. I don't know. A brand that we worked with closely on a recent destination series is releasing a new bike. So I can't give it away, but you can use those clues. So I'll be in Colorado riding for the next few days on a really awesome new bike. And then come home and then go to Crankworks Whistler for a little bit. So, and at Crankworks Whistler, there's gonna be some really sweet new bikes that we're gonna be riding as well and making some videos on. So lots of cool new stuff coming. That's for sure. Okay. 4 tacos from Jack in the Box. That's true. You're right, Aaron. We each get 2 tacos. So right on. Thank you guys. Well, thank you all very much for tuning in. Greatly appreciate the support again. Seriously, from watching, subscribing, any of you guys who picked up merch in the web store, it means a lot to us. We appreciate it, and we, do all this stuff to stoke you guys out as much as we can. So thank you all. Have a good weekend, and catch you out on the trails. All right. Don't forget to go check out our trip to Guatemala. Hopefully we'll see some of you down there, and we'll go for a rip. See ya.